Welcome to Neato podcast number 1, where we talk about all things neat. Neato. I'm Brandon.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Josh.
And today we are going to be talking about meme culture. Our friend Josh here is not cultured in memes whatsoever. So Adam and I figured it would be a good time to talk through memes culture and how he needs to understand them. Adam?
Yeah, so basically we thought it would be very difficult to catch him up on the decade or so of internet jokes and life and culture. So today our method is going to be to define what makes a good meme, which again is like an impossible task.
Incredibly subjective.
It's absolutely subjective. And almost, you know that stereotype where if you have to explain a joke, it's not funny anymore?
Right.
That's exactly what we're going to do for about 45 minutes.
Cool.
So could be a hit or miss episode, but it's important to define our terms because it's such a huge part of our lives. I know you know nothing about that.
You don't even have an Instagram. Let's just get that out there.
And, I'm just doing this episode to strengthen our friendships, so. Hopefully that.
I'm good.
In 2012...
Oh boy.
I'm just kidding. Memes... So I should have looked it up before this episode, but the originating term, or the origin of the term meme came from, maybe we can look this up. It wasn't like Richard Dawkins or somebody? A book written by somebody who's very not meme-worthy, to be honest. Look up the origin of the word meme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it Richard Dawkins?
Yeah. I'll put it up on the...
It was basically, I think if I'm remembering correctly, it's, here we go, originated in the 1976 book, The Selfish Gene. Dawkins' own position is somewhat ambiguous, blah, blah, blah. Where does he talk about
Dawkins,
it?
the atheist
word
guy?
meme is a neo...
Describes a relatively recent, okay, no, that's not what that is. A meme is anyway, Richard Dawkins is like a hardcore atheist.
Right.
He's an atheist apologist, which
right.
means he's kind of a missionary of atheism. Even though he probably wouldn't call himself that.
Yeah, he wrote The God Delusion, I think, his book.
Yeah.
He's a super nice guy.
Okay, here's what he says. Oh, he welcomed this other guy's suggestion that memes should be considered as living structures, not just metaphorically. So I think in their sense they were talking about not necessarily jokes that are put into JPEGs, but like... I think, and I haven't read that book, but this is just what I've heard around it. I think they're just talking about like the societal hive mind of how we're all contributing to the same zeitgeist. And
it's like an idea,
it becomes its own
It is a living structure.
entity, yeah. So if you think about memes that way, the best place to find that living structure, this is a controversial statement, what I'm about to say, but the best place on the internet, in my opinion, to find that living structure, Brandon, if you can pull it up, is a place called the Dank Memes subreddit. Now, why? Obviously, the word meme is in there, but why dank memes? We're going to figure that out. We're going to take that journey, but that's not till later, okay?
So, I'm excited.
It's a deep dive.
Any questions so far? First of all, let's start. What are your preconceptions about memes? Define a meme, just how you know it to be, because I think that's interesting.
Okay, a meme is a picture with words on it that gets shared around the internet.
Perfect.
It's pretty much my understanding.
Fair enough.
That's pretty...
Slightly different than a GIF, or GIF, as some people say, because that usually moves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people have moving memes, like GIF memes.
We'll find out.
Oh.
Did you know... See, I'm glad you have that basis for it, because, number one, you're correct, but memes are more than that. So, yeah, there are memes that are just the text, the picture, the joke. But after today's episode, I'm hoping to help you realize that people can be memes, not just stuff people make, but you'll see what I'm talking about later. It might not make sense. So, what makes a meme, Brandon, in your opinion, just give us the general gist, just so I'm not talking the whole episode. But.
Yeah, I think I'm still new to this. Adam kind of got me into memes and that, like, the meme culture and big memes, like, just probably, like, under a year ago. But to me, it's, like, culturally relevant circumstances or situations turned into either something that's, like, funny or that makes you think, as, like, weird as that may sound. Like, not like these are, like, philosophical memes, but, like, I mean, everything that just happened with, like, the Notre Dame, like, cathedral being caught on fire. I mean, within 10 minutes of that being, like, on breaking news, I mean, this entire subreddit was just full of Notre Dame on fire memes. And it's not, like... And a lot of people would, like, look at that and just be, like, immediately offended. But some of them, obviously, they can be offensive. But to me, what that is they're taking something that's happening and then they're turning that into a way to, like, make a point.
It's a social commentary.
Yeah, it can be, depending on, like, who's making the meme. But that's kind of, I feel like it's something that is... It's, like, a lot like how South Park is constantly making their episodes, like, the week of, because they're taking what's happening in the world and being relevant as far as, like, what they're doing and what their topics are, and, like, that's what this is. So, like, memes will always be... I mean, good memes will always be constant. It's never going to be... You know, there'll be repeats and things that are, like, you know, they say, like, dead memes or it's been around for a long time, but most of them will... you know, live throughout a season where whatever its topic is or focused on was important at that time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I've broken down memes. Again, this is where it starts to get into that territory of explaining a joke and now it's not funny anymore. But what makes a good meme, in my totally subjective opinion, it comes down to 3 different variables and aspects that you'll see in these other ones. Same thing with, like, a stand-up comedian telling a joke, a stand-up bit, or a good sketch, or a good episode of South Park. It has these 3 things. Number 1 is the format. So you're going to hear us use the phrase meme formats. Even this first one here, it says, wow, guys, totally new format. So the word format is a big buzzword in the meme community. It may or may not make sense at this point, but we'll explain that later. That the format is kind of the recurring wrapper that the meme or the joke is contained in, whether that's a recurring image or a recurring, you know, compilation of images, whatever. I don't want to talk about it in these kind of formats for too long because I think that kind of, you know, explaining jokes and everything like that. But the second one, so there's format. Second one is relatability. So to me, this one isn't as important, even though sort of these low-tier memes, especially early on, were all about relatable comedy. And as we've kind of all collectively matured over the years, relatable comedy has become kind of not comedy at all. It's just, that's where you kind of have, like, memes devolving into other types of things that we'll talk about later. But that's where there are the separation of something called dank memes, which are, like, really funny, politically incorrect, at just going for as funny as you can, versus what they call normie memes, which are just, like, dumb jokes for your grandma kind of thing. Like,
they're just going straight for the humor. Like, sometimes there's memes that they're funny because they're not funny, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those where it's like how South Park, where they'll say stuff that you're like, I can't believe they just said that or did that.
It's like shock comedy.
Yeah, it has. That's what I feel like a lot of them are. Is like
you're talking about dank memes.
Yeah, dank memes compared to regular memes.
So look up. So a big, just off the top of my head, a big normie meme that kind of sucks that nobody likes. Google those Minion memes. Just Google image a couple of those. They're just usually posted on Facebook, which is a whole nother issue. But you can find them on Facebook. They're usually posted by middle-aged moms to talk about their day. We all have that one friend who needs to learn how to whisper, and there's just they just put a completely unrelated, completely low effort picture of a minion
Right.
on it, and they're just not funny. They are.
I smiled.
Like, this is like something that your parents would send you, or like
You would see this scrolling through Facebook, and it would be posted by
Karen.
who is your mom's friend from church, and she thinks she's killing it.
Church memes.
And she would get so many likes and comments, like all caps LOL. Girl.
And with this one, I think
So true.
I think my phone is broken. She would get so many requests from other older people, like, "Have you tried turning it off and turning it?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that.
It's an audience that we
It's
don't.
just not your audience.
It works for them, I think, but it's also a complete disgrace to the format.
Well, if you go back to the dank memes page, and you go to this top one here, I don't think my grandma would understand that meme.
And that's-
so it wouldn't be funny to her.
That brings us
Therefore,
us to this next point.
It's fair. It's a fair difference in audience.
But here's the thing. Here's what makes it good. Just like with a stand-up comedian that tells a story that has layers and builds to a joke. So those minion memes, they would be called low-effort memes or like normie memes because it takes zero, regardless of who you are, you get it. Regardless of whether you think it's funny, you get it. We all understand that, even though we don't really think it's funny. So this one, how you score a meme, whether it's dank or not, goes to the third one, which is relevance and timeliness. So for some of these memes, you'll see really current events or current things. Your phone not working, there's zero relevance or timeliness to that, because as long as phones have been working, so it's like a low effort meme, because as long as phones have been working, they've been broken,
Right.
and it takes no
This looks like a
outside
PC
knowledge.
joke to me because Windows Task Manager, obviously, none of us use. Do any of you guys use Windows? Brandon, don't you have a PC?
I mean,
Laptop?
I did have a PC, and that's why it's like
That's like Force Quit, right? Max.
yeah. Well,
Windows
Task
version.
Manager, yeah, it's basically like your activity monitor and how
Right.
you can like get rid of stuff. But it's so true because no matter what you do, if it doesn't how many times you go to your account preferences and turn off like boot up Skype when we right when you
boot,
log on,
yeah.
it will do it every single time, and it doesn't matter how many times you hit that red X, it won't go away. And everybody, well, I would say everybody, like millennials, can probably understand that and know that. So if you look at it, at first you're like, what is happening? And then you realize, oh, this is The Witcher 3. This is, I don't even Geralt or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's slaying some, like,
That's an iconic
beast.
scene from that video game.
And it's like, so I mean, there's a little bit of video game culture there. So you
Right.
got The Witcher 3. And
See,
then
I
you've
didn't
got-
catch the video game culture part because I don't know that game.
And that's why
But
we're
I
here.
caught the other half of it.
That's
Yeah.
why we're here today to try, because you're not going to get any of these. We're not expecting you to get any of these because you haven't taken part in any of the internet culture or the references or
I would send
anything like that.
Adam screenshots of memes for the first like month and be like, what does this mean? Because apparently everybody thinks it's hilarious. And he'd have to like step by step explain like,
So here's
Okay.
here's another thing. What makes a good meme? Just like what I started saying it with a stand-up joke. What makes a good meme here? Obviously, still my subjective opinion, but the more layers it has to understandability. So you have to know what The Witcher is. You have to know how to. You have to know what Task Manager is and what Skype is and their relationship when you boot up a PC.
Is that a hippogriff?
yes.
It's Buckbeak from Harry Potter. Right? That's how I know it's a hippogriff.
Great. But you also have to know what a hippogriff is. So
And you do, so that's
really
There you
funny,
go.
really good memes. They're called like on the Reddit community. They'll call it like, oh, that's like a tier 5 meme, like a tier 3, because you have to know 5 things
Oh,
for
okay,
the
I
joke
gotcha.
to be funny. And that might sound counterintuitive because a lot of people are like, I want mass appeal for my jokes, like a
Right.
stand-up comedian. But in the meme community, you don't.
High quality.
dank
So it originates as a stoner reference.
for something of high quality. Those burritos was dank. man.
That burritos was dank.
Or that burritos was the dankness. So this isn't like your
Not those
standard
burritos.
like dank is like
Gross
dark
and
and
gooey.
caves and whatever. This is certified dank
Certified
memes.
fresh.
Yeah. So a lot of what you see on the subreddit or a good meme requires a knowledge of the internet. Requires a knowledge of, like, I've never played The Witcher, but I get this meme because I've seen so many things about it, about the game.
Gotcha.
So if you're like, sometimes, so what Brandon was saying earlier is that, like, he would send me a meme early on, and I would have to explain like 3 years of the internet at a certain point because a meme was just that good. And so let's just keep scrolling just for other examples. Pupil can expand up to 55% when you look at something you love. Okay, so they're basically saying this person loves Detective Pikachu and hates Sonic.
Did you see the new Sonic trailer that just came out?
No.
They're like it's awful. Like
It's terrible.
It's the only, like,
really
You'll
bad.
need to unlock your iPhone first.
Siri doesn't.
Is that a meme?
Siri doesn't agree. But the new Sonic trailer is awful. Like they look how they massacred my boy. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But everybody loved Detective Pikachu. So
And the joke is sort of the sub-narrative is that we all know in reality it's the same thing, basically. I'm not going to say they're the same movie, but it's the same basic concept that we know of so
Right.
far.
a
Like-
cartoon that we grew up watching
So
is
it-
now.
And now modernize
So
it.
the
CG
meme
animation.
is pointing out that Pikachu looks good, Sonic looks bad. That's what it is on the surface.
Yeah,
but it's
that's a
also-
weird
But
still frame.
it's also I think kind of pointing out the fact that really it's like poking fun at people who really think that there's a difference.
Yeah.
Because they're both very
It's almost the same angle,
like
camera angle.
uncanny valley
They're
like
cropped out.
video game characters.
Yeah, both of these movies are going to be terrible. Like nobody from our generation. Like I grew up playing Pokemon. I'm never going to see that movie. Because that looks awful. Like I remember going to the theaters and seeing like the Pokemon movie where like Ash gets like turned to stone and like Pikachu's like crying.
Vacations where I wanna be.
That
Remember
was
that?
Rugrats.
That was Rugrats.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought that was from
That
the
was
Pikachu,
Rugrats
the
Go to
Pokemon movie.
Paris or whatever, and the VHS tape was orange.
What's the song they have at the end of the Pokemon movie?
Gotta catch them all.
No,
I know what you're
it's-
talking about. It's like
They're on vacation, I thought.
No, it's like a sad song.
I will follow up on this next episode, guys. Episode 2, we will resolve this question.
Okay.
What the heck happened to the Pokemon
So
song?
do you have any questions so far?
Nope. Makes sense.
So I guess
You're saying there's the multi-layers,
The
and
mul-
that gets you extra points,
Yeah.
essentially.
Mhm.
Although there's no points, but you
A
know
lot-
what I'm saying.
a
there
lot
is
of-
points actually.
Yeah, you get karma for it on Reddit for posting.
Do you see
like,
these right here?
upvotes.
Yeah, there they are.
So like upvote.
This one has 10,000 karma.
That's 10,000 people saying I like this.
And as opposed to Facebook or something you're used to where it's just likes and like nothing is done with that, karma, if you go to a user's account, their karma can get them into other subreddits too. So it's really a community.
Like you can't
Based off
post
of-
on this until you have a certain amount of
Yeah.
karma. Like it took me like 3 or 4 months of
Yeah.
just browsing Reddit and like liking things or like having conversations on other subreddits to get to a point where you can actually post.
So this subreddit is so highly, or not highly, but so, thoroughly moderated. There are people who are like the mods of the subreddit that you have to have thousands of karma, like in the positive, before you are even allowed. Like it just won't even let you post. They put an algorithm there that deletes your post.
Gotcha.
So there is like some quality to this. This isn't just like Facebook, where anybody can post.
It's
anything
been
they want.
it's been vetted essentially in a way.
Yeah.
And there's like this weird sense of like anybody who's like, once you're able to post, it's like a big deal. Because like
So the
there's-
ones you were texting us, were they from this thread or
Yes.
no? Okay.
Yeah, I have seen the light of dank memes, and I do not take memes from any other source.
So I know you don't know this, but in 2018, there was actually a meme war between between this subreddit, which is a huge community of I can't remember how many millions.
2.2 million.
2 million people.
How are you a member of the subreddit? Are you following it?
You
essentially?
subscribe to it.
Okay,
You can subscribe to it.
It's
basically.
like followers.
Yeah.
Memeing?
And there's 20,000 people live.
Allowed to post?
Right
no,
now.
20,000 people who are on
the
this
page?
right now.
Okay. And then, but you don't know how many people are actually allowed to post on here?
I don't think so.
No.
How many would you say? Out of those 2 million people, how many are actually allowed to post?
Half, maybe less.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely not as many as are following. But,
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So there was this whole, like, memes have become such a powerful part of culture and a part of the internet, which once something becomes huge on the internet, you know, it just explodes everywhere else. So there was this war of who has the best memes, Instagram or Reddit, and the whole communities were kind of going back and forth, trash talking each other. If you could probably look up some memes, some anti-Instagram memes and
Who were they
anti-Reddit
versus?
memes.
Dank memes versus who?
All of Instagram.
Oh.
So
Wow.
what we came to find out in those months is that this huge and this is kind of where memes crossed into like big legal news, is that the guys who did Firefest, it's this big corporation on Instagram based. They're all over the place, but they're
The ones who put it on or the
they're,
ones that made the doc?
F. Jerry.
Oh, okay.
They had this huge meme account where all it was they were just posting memes, and they were making millions of dollars because they were posting like ads with the memes, and it was just a comedy, like a humor account.
Right.
Millions of subscribers, lots of monetization. They were coming out with products, games, all based on the success of their meme Instagram account. So it came out, people were posting stuff that all that F. Jerry was doing. Like, this was in the middle of the Firefest documentary series. All that they were doing was screenshotting this subreddit and posting it to their Instagram. Not giving credit to anyone. In fact, they were like putting their own little watermarks, I think, next to stuff.
Yikes.
And putting their ads next to content that they didn't make. Trying to sell their products. So, that started a meme war where people from Instagram who didn't really know subreddit, because Instagram is a huge, way bigger community than this subreddit. And so people were saying, oh, this subreddit just takes stuff from Instagram. But the subreddit would say, no, you guys screenshot our stuff. And there are
So how do you actually
different-
know where a meme originated?
For me, I would know because I would see it here first, and then a week later I would see it on F. Jerry or on one of the other 30 accounts that F. Jerry owns. They're all in this interconnected web. There's about 30 different meme accounts that are all connected. They're all employees at the same place.
Yeah.
Are there specific users you're used to seeing post stuff on here?
Not really.
No, it's
Like,
because
there's not
so many
reoccurring
people that can post that it's like, it's
So
pretty
a
random.
huge thing about Reddit, what makes it the posts better, not just on this subreddit but across the board of Reddit, every subreddit, is that for the most part it's completely anonymous. And so there are some memes in this subreddit that if people posted
On their Instagram or on their Facebook.
like, they would get fired from their jobs, probably. They would be like alienated from their families because they're just too controversial, or they're too, tell it like it is kind of a thing. What's great about this subreddit is that there's zero expectation of political correctness. So you have so many different things that, not just the taking images and stuff from Google Images and then using them to make your joke, but also just you can say what you want without any judgment. In fact, people, like, the crazier you get, usually, the better it'll do.
Mm.
So,
Except if you predict the death of the Queen of England.
yeah.
Because this happened
This was in
last year.
January, right at the turn of the year.
So this guy, Beefy Cabbage, just posted this, and like it's an iCarly scene. He's basically hitting him in the back of the head with a stop sign. But what they did was like January 5th. She's going to die January 5th. It was just like an original content. Like he just made that just to be funny, and it received more than 52,000 posts, 89% upvoted, and following the post, December 27th, a day after, they posted another one basically talking like more about January 5th and it being the death, and then within, I think it was like a week or so, there was, it was like, it made the news for, like, I think BBC posted an article about it, and it was enough to where, like, the Beefy Cabbage, like, I'm pretty sure either, like, hid his account or, like, deactivated it, because it was, like, people were actually, like, genuinely concerned.
The death of the Queen, obviously she didn't die, which works out, now it's like an innocent joke, but because there was so much time from when he posted it, which I think it said December 26th, because there was so much time between that, like 10 days between that and January 5th, it had this 10 days on the internet to fester, and we were kind of building up to it. People were posting, okay, one more day, like what's going to happen?
Oh, gosh.
People weren't sure if it was a terrorist attack. People weren't, because it spread, so it wasn't just his meme. It was millions of other ones, like funnier ones too, that were just taking over. And the Queen was having to beef up her security. The Queen of England was responding to this in some form. It just
shows like the reach that
the power of an idea.
Another thing,
literally just an idea in someone's head.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Article 13
of the Constitution?
I think it's of the European Union. Look up that. What's great about America, obviously, is you can post this kind of stuff. You have freedom of speech, and you can be offensive. You can talk politically all you want, and there's really no risk of anything happening. In the European Union, they just outlawed memes because there's a whole that could be a whole nother episode.
Oh wow!
But they outlawed memes. They were kind of going after memes. They didn't just come out and say that memes are outlawed. Instead, they used a very kind of gray area of copyright infringement to go after, kind of like the free speech, the anti-establishment thing. So they didn't just come out and say, if you post a meme, you're going to jail. But they did make it impossible to post memes based on a new copyright law. That you can tell.
The iCarly thing, you wouldn't be able to post because it's a copyrighted.
Yeah. So, basically, yeah.
Article 13 prohibits banishment and guarantees freedom of movement.
The European Union, yeah. Article 13 of the European Union Directive on Copyright in the Digital Single Market, which would expand legal liability for websites. So, basically, they said if you post memes, we are able to go after the website too. So they're trying to attack it on all different fronts of free speech.
It's crazy.
Of of political correctness, and so it's more than just like text and JPEGs with little silly jokes on them at this point. It's really become kind of an overlooked form of people just expressing how the world is. I don't know. That kind of sounds too much, but even to the point of Elon Musk is very popular he's very active in this subreddit.
He responded? Did he really say that?
Probably not. And that's the thing, this is a template. You can go and get Twitter meme templates.
Oh, okay.
Where basically
it looks like a tweet.
You can get Trump is obviously the number one, obviously whoever, he's always tweeting stuff that he shouldn't. But you can go and you can grab like there's apps for it and websites where you basically go in and you type what you want the tweet to say, and then it just exports you a picture. But there's a lot of like this is a format, a Twitter conversation, and then this is from Skyrim,
right?
Another video game, and it's basically like if you had like restoration,
I have
destruction,
Skyrim.
speech. There you go, you have Skyrim, so you know. And it's like when you had it all maxed out, it would say 100.
Right.
So that's why it's like.
So,
but to me, that's not as funny if he didn't actually say it. But I get what they're doing. They're saying like they're pointing out that he's from South Africa, even whether or not he said it.
Here's the thing. The joke has become you don't know if the tweets are real or not, because Elon Musk in this subreddit is not only very active, but he tweets things from this subreddit. And Donald Trump, as we all know, his Twitter activity, well, you might not know because you're probably not on Twitter, but his Twitter activity is, pretty crazy, especially for a president. So the joke outside of this joke is that you don't know if these are real or not, and you have to look it up. Which, while you guys were talking, I looked this up, and it isn't real. But there's, like, at least...
The top one, though, is real?
The top one's real. The bottom one's not. He just said, like, oh, thanks, whatever.
Yeah.
But the joke outside of the joke is you don't know if they're real. And when I researched it, there's about 24 websites talking about this. Like, is this real? So, one person's meme made about 24 different publications do research and write articles about, is this real? Was this exchange? Did it really happen?
Which is crazy that just like one, like you could make something, and a lot of these people, they'll make it for karma, but you'll see a lot of memes that are like, just like, thanks for making memes just to make somebody laugh or whatever. Because that's. I just look for something that's gonna make me laugh because I think some of these are hilarious.
Sure.
And then some of them, like, honestly, like they like oh crap, like they make you like think a little bit, as like weird as that sounds. But a lot of them are just meant to be humorous, but they'll go as far as like obviously there's nothing funny about like Notre Dame burning or the Queen actually dying on January 5th.
Right.
But you almost like going into this and like looking at these, you just have to like understand and just like pull yourself out of like being politically correct all the time, because that's, as a society, like,
well, it's interesting though because
are.
they seem to actually do have guidelines though.
Yeah,
for this.
and they do, and they like very much monitor and like moderate what is happening. So like even though you have certain things that are like school shootings, that one, like they have a strict rule against things like that. So there are like, it's almost, you can take things to a certain, like,
you have to tell people to be decent in a certain way.
Yeah, like you can take it so far, but like once you like, there is a threshold still.
Yeah. I like number 3. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, just don't. It's easy.
Most of their
okay, hold on.
most of their probably their biggest rule is
don't.
That's
bad.
Their biggest rule is like don't repost.
Yeah.
Which is kind of it's spread across the internet because Instagram and all these $1 million accounts were reposting all this stuff.
So do you get this?
The fact that we're moving on to Endgame because it's about to come out whenever they posted that.
So there's still a lot of meme potential in Infinity War, but people want to move on to Endgame already. Basically, they will actually, they beefed up their like moderation right before Endgame, and because what they were gonna do is like they're gonna do their best to ban all spoilers.
Okay, I was gonna say that would be awful.
Didn't you say that they actually got?
I would just not go on.
I don't know how true it is, but I did hear multiple people say that Disney or Marvel or whoever gave the moderators of the Dank Meme subreddit an early pass to see the movie so that they could call out spoilers better when it eventually came out.
Oh, so they're moderators to this subreddit?
Yeah. They're real people.
Okay, because I didn't know how that works. Because on Facebook, like, I'm in a couple of Facebook groups for film scoring stuff, and there's moderators and admins and that kind of thing. So it's the same idea.
It's same but different. Facebook is the moderator is just like, what do you even moderate on Facebook?
Well,
You know
on
what I mean?
Facebook, like on the groups I'm in, people will try to on a film scoring group. People will try to post ads.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like one of the groups I'm in, guys will literally post like their song.
Yeah,
with
I would
a picture,
imagine.
and you're like, dude, that's really annoying.
I would imagine that this dank memes
so I have the power
subreddit
to actually delete it.
or like a Reddit sub, I would imagine that these moderators are a lot busier than Facebook
No,
mods.
can't defeat me.
Have you seen that YouTube video?
I know, but he can't. Nope.
So there's this kid.
The freaking fricks.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, have you seen? We've had it in our office, but there's like the squished face, and it's like, what is the line that he's like screaming?
Your actions have consequences.
Yeah. When will you learn that your action has consequences? It's basically this kid in a video talking about the Sonic game or something like that, and he's like freaking out, and he's like, but because he loves Sonic, so obviously from
So this
The movie again.
So yeah, so it's Hela from Thor Ragnarok. You can't defeat me. Thor's like, I know, but he can. And then it's the huge fire demon, whatever. That's the narrative number one. This kid's love for Sonic and his reputation on the internet, which is massive for defending. Like he's a Sonic purist, and he's been like screaming and yelling at people. And if you ever watch any of his videos, which I know you probably haven't, he's just like. He freaks out every episode when someone disses Sonic or when someone goes crazy. And so
Is this
imagine
before the movie came out, or
yeah, he's been
Oh,
going
okay?
yeah,
for
it's
So
years.
now
years.
they're adding the third level of the actual movie.
Yeah.
so then there's the movie, which is the most recent thing, because like it looks terrible. And
Is this where you
so-
guys found out about the Aladdin thing?
What Aladdin thing?
Like all the stuff that happened with the Aladdin film?
What stuff that happened?
Oh, just like it
Is,
being
it,
terrible.
is that did you guys see that first?
There
on
was
this?
a ton, yeah. Talking about like of the genie memes.
Yeah,
and
the Will
stuff.
So
Smith
yeah,
genie.
so
Yeah.
anything, basically any topic imaginable, not just Aladdin, but if anything that happens in society, in pop culture, in politics, it's gonna show up here.
Yeah.
So, ironically, even though this is just jokes, and on the outside it might just look like jokes, this is like current events.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is pop culture.
It's news.
This is news. This is politics.
I think it's like just like a good summation.
It's a different
of
way,
just,
yeah,
like,
to like
of-
experience.
good like memes done right. It is like obviously not that you would only want to trust that as your news source, but like you would know within if a major event was happening, you would know within 5 to 10 minutes because how active and the community is constantly looking. I mean, like you said, it's 2.2 million people. Obviously, all of them can't post, but like nowadays with the moment something happens, it's on the internet and it's getting blasted to your phones. People can within 5 minutes make a meme of something that just happened and put it on there. I mean, I've seen stuff on here where it was talking about oh, this person like rest in peace or something like that, and you're like, they're not, what, that doesn't make any sense. And you go and you look and you're like, oh my gosh, they passed away like an hour ago. You'll see like a TMZ article like so and so passed away, and I literally saw it first on a meme subreddit because like it's just quick.
So when you look at it like that, like this whole, the meme being such a big part of culture, being a part of news, politics, anything like that, you kind of begin to realize it's come so far from just posting one of those old formats. It's like, I lost my keys today. And then that's it. And then just a picture of someone going, oh no, my keys.
Right.
That's
Like
kind
a
of
stock
where
image.
it came from. Yeah, just like a stock image of someone like
Or those
shaking
50s,
their
the
head.
50s looking
Yeah,
ones.
Yeah.
the ones
Yeah.
that are like different like colors
Yeah.
in their
It's like a man. They're usually all sexist, which is
Yeah,
it's
they
like
are.
a man slapping a woman,
yeah.
and
That was the 50s.
yeah,
I know, but it's like that's how like memes were born, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And the big stereotype back then was the impact font on everything. That was like what you had to have. And nowadays you never see that unless
You get your meme removed if you have impact
Yeah.
font on.
Really?
because
Why?
Because
It's
it's
normie.
it's normie. Because other memes you'll see on Facebook, memes you'll see on Instagram, that are, if you browse this subreddit for a day, and then you go to Facebook and you see the memes people are posting on Facebook, you'll be like, this is garbage. Like, it takes no, not in like an arrogant way, but you'll realize, oh, it takes no thought, or there's no levels to this. It's just someone
It's a
found
picture
this.
in text.
It's a picture. That's when it's a picture in text. So if you have the preconceived notion that a meme is just a picture in text, you're probably seeing low effort memes, and that's all you ever see. But if you have
So about the thing where it says "you frickin' fricks," what's that considered? That's called the title.
That's the title, and that's what
it's a famous quote.
it's a quote from him.
So, but that's
Pull up the video
that's not
if you
actually
want.
part of the meme itself,
No,
right?
it is.
It is. Yeah, it's another
The
layer.
title is part of the meme as well.
So,
And
but
it
that title's
doesn't-
only with that.
Yeah,
Like that's in the post. The image is here.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if that image got pulled,
But here's-
that title wouldn't be there, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is why it ruins memes when you steal them.
Gotcha.
Because this could be, this person who made this meme posted this title, and as they're making this meme, a huge part of making the meme is coming up with the title, because this adds another layer to the joke, because it's a quote from one of his most famous Sonic videos. So the title brings it full circle and kind of wraps.
I
it
still
in a
don't get
neat
this
bow.
one though. Like, why is it saying he can defeat Sonic?
Because he's a very, you'll see, we'll pull up the video, he's not defeating Sonic, he's defeating, like, the botched Sonic.
Just can't ever
Here.
be
I'll slow to the beginning. You can hear it.
because you freaking
That camera's
pricks
about to go down.
just can't ever be quenched. Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they?
So that kid was the frickin' Fricks kid. So now you get, well, I don't know if you get it. I get it. It's kind of funny, but like, so the movie, which is another, like, destruction of the Sonic ethos, just like the fan fictions he was pissed at,
right?
is another, it's like
Okay.
destroying the character he loves so much.
So they're assuming that he's against the movie. He's like a Sonic purist, so he wouldn't like
Yes.
the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, is it potentially though he might actually go see that movie and be excited about it?
Most likely not.
'Cause he's
Well,
so young.
here's the thing, like, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
So it's more in the sense of his persona that we know. Like, it doesn't matter what he actually thinks about it. His persona and the joke is that because he's such a Sonic purist and he's already been mad at Sonic content that he felt didn't utilize the character in its best way. Like, someone wrote a fan fiction where Sonic was like having sex with Mario or something, and he's like, and then because of that and a bunch of stuff that came out, I think Sonic, they stopped production on like a Sonic game in real life. So he was yelling at that, and that's why he was saying like, "You frickin' fricks, your actions have consequences," which is silly because he's blaming them. But anyway,
And see, like, this is much simpler. It's just, it's true.
It's in
When
game.
when you're at the grocery
In-game
store
trailer.
and you see yourself on the security monitor.
You wouldn't have had to see the in game to see that. That's in the trailer.
because it's not a spoiler.
And that's part of why, like, you can get away with
Yeah, you
posting
go and
certain
see.
things.
Yes.
So, like, if you, like, endgame spoilers are not allowed, obviously, on this subreddit.
Right.
But technically, somebody was able to post something
Right.
from it. So it's like, once you kind of get into, like, knowing what's going on.
And that could have been an image, a meme format that was around before the movie came out too, because it was in the trailer.
Here's another Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, right now, Sonic the Hedgehog is, like, most popular because they just released a trailer and it's awful. So it's like Jim Carrey. He's
What does he have
really
to
good.
do with?
He's
in the movie. He plays
Eggman or
Doctor, or not Doctor.
Is
He's
I
in the
think it's
movie.
Dr. Egg something.
Oh, interesting.
He's the villain. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the trailer, it's hilarious. Like, he's really good because he's Jim Carrey. He's talented, and so it's like he's carrying the movie, and then the producers are just watching.
It's funny.
So, like, it's just it's just more to than like a Minion meme. There's just
let's
more.
Let's close it out, but by keep scrolling.
See, another, like, these are the most popular in the past 24 hours, so you can see.
Yeah, so Pikachu, oh, he's adorable. Sonic, shoot him.
And that's from the trailer,
Yeah.
We already saw this one.
Yeah.
Space X, Space Y. Okay, a math joke. See, memes can be funny. So Space X, so it's the
X-axis.
axis. Y is the y-axis. And then x squared equals y is like a parabola.
Oh gosh, that was past me. I don't even know what a parabola is.
I think that's a parabola.
So this is, let's just see if you get this because you are a Star Wars fan.
I bite hot peppers for every bad scene. Seen this raw strength only once before.
He doesn't think it's funny.
I don't think I get that one.
I'm trying to.
Which probably just means I'm not.
I mean, who's he talking about? He's talking about
Like, it just means that, like, because
the
every
strength to
scene
actually
is
watch
bad.
it. To actually watch the trailer.
Every scene is bad. So he's taking a bite of a hot pepper.
Just constantly for a minute and a half.
And so it's like, I've only seen this raw strength once before.
So, okay, yeah.
I think we need to do a segment of our show where we discuss a trailer that came out, like each episode.
So,
Game of Thrones.
this is a Game of Thrones reference where Bran is talking to Theon and he's saying, "You're a good man, thank you." But it's...
I don't even need to know the Game of Thrones reference to understand that.
Yeah.
All I have
Yeah.
to understand
But
is if I've ever ridden in an Uber.
The truth is, yeah, you don't
You
need...
hate talking to the Uber guy.
Here's a perfect example. So, what we were talking about layers to memes, you get, like, the majority of the layers here. But you don't get all of them, like you just said. You don't watch
What
Game of
makes it
Thrones.
funnier being that it's a Game of
Knowing
Thrones?
that this was a really serious, like, tearful moment in the show.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
In the episode.
Like, when he said, "You are a good man, thank you," what he said to that character had been wanting to hear that for 8 seasons.
Gotcha.
So that character betrayed his family, ended up to his family getting killed, and that character during the big battle agreed to stick by him. Who's in a wheelchair? He's crippled, so to stick by him in a wheelchair and basically defend him like to the death. So that character was like running to his death like after this moment. So it was a really tearful. It fulfilled that character's story arc,
Right.
and it was like a really powerful moment. And then now it's refined to just your Uber driver. So
And it's funnier, at least if you, like, know
it's
the
funnier
context.
if you know
Right.
that extra layer. So you thought it was funny, you laughed when you just knew like one layer
The
of
Uber
it.
layer.
But when
Yeah.
you know the meta layer behind it, it becomes like 10 times funnier.
Just another snippet from Sonic. He says a line, "No, but thank you for asking." Me, I made this new format. You like it? Thank you. No, but thank you for asking.
I actually haven't seen a Sonic trailer,
It's pretty bad.
so maybe it would be funnier to me if I saw it. But it's
So-
also Sonic.
Also Sonic. I don't get that one either.
Did you seen the trailer?
I was gonna talk about this sort of like the perfect memes crossing into the real world, which we've already talked about. But I was gonna talk about Old Town Road.
Oh yeah.
It was combining the rise of TikTok with the rise of Red Dead Redemption, and like everything where it was on the Billboard charts, and then it got taken off the country charts, and then it got put. But even though it was still number one on the complete like industry charts, and then it got taken off because it wasn't country enough. And then Billy Ray Cyrus loved the meme, so he got on the remix, and the remix took number one on the country charts. So it's like, basically, when a meme is good and it kind of fulfills its potential, it crosses into the real world in ways that no other thing can, because people...
It lives on through like it like one post or one type of format will become so big that it just continues and lives, and like you'll see like stuff from that came out a year ago and they're still using it as a format, and it's still because it's still relevant in what it's trying to do, which is at least it's make you laugh, I think, first off, but then also just like let you know what's happening in the world at the same time.
One of the highest honors you can get in this community is to not just create a meme that takes off, but the kind of like the the holy grail of like accomplishment is to create a meme format that takes off. So if you scroll back to a really popular one was that Thor one.
Mm-hmm.
So that Ragnarok came out like at least a year ago.
Yeah.
But it's that format has endured. So the first person who made a joke using that format, like, you can't defeat me, but I know he can, something like that.
Oh, there's a new Avengers one.
Yeah.
I see. It's already
Yeah.
changed. I went to hot, and now it's not as hot as it
Wow.
was.
Or we'll just keep scrolling until we find an older one, format at least. But
Like, you know the Drake meme?
there it is.
Oh, okay, there it is.
So like whoever came out with this
Format
format
showing a movie clip.
like originated, not showing a movie clip, but showing this movie clip.
Oh, specifically that one.
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
showing a movie clip, that's like was from day one, you know.
Right.
I'm
But
sure you've seen this, right?
Yeah. Whoop.
So that is like, it's what that Hotline Bling came out 2-3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then they made that from that music video, but it's still relevant, but it's relevant to the fact where people are using this format but taking out pictures of him and doing it where it would be like Hitler doing this and then Hitler being like excited.
and it's like this of like the thing I don't like. It's like equality, and this one is like killing Jews or something. So the person who made this format years ago launched a meme format that's been used a million different ways and has kind of come up with its own life, so much so that the meme format has evolved over time. That's like true success in the world, is like having
Have you guys ever had a meme go big? Any of your memes?
a few times?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Cool.
Do you
now
feel cultured?
I guess
I guess to wrap it up, I have to say I'm impressed. I definitely understand memes in a different level now, and not just something that's funny, but also maybe informative or, like you maybe learn something from them. So, thank you.
it's good.
Thank you for shedding light on that.
That was our quest to just
Yeah.
not try and make you understand every meme, because there's just way too much. And,
Sure.
And we don't understand every meme either, but.
But
at least to
at
get
the
you-
end of the day, though, like I still like the Minion ones better. But
that just means you're the kind of person who would.
You're a normie, and that's okay. We
You're
still
a
love
you're a
you.
middle-aged soccer mom, so
I actually really do love soccer. So that's probably totally unrelated.
next week's episode,
Tackett loves soccer.
Tackett gives us a soccer TED Talk.
I just like cuts to us and we're just like out in like a field and Tackett's like got the ball and he's like, all right, so what you want to
Got
do?
the ball and the microphone.
You want to kick it.
You want to kick it?
You can't touch it with your hand.
No hands,
No hands.
feet only.
It's not like football.
It is football.
Although it is football. It's the OG. Okay. Anyway, we're just way off topic now.
But that was it. Episode 1. Hopefully you weren't bored to death listening to us talk about memes, but we think it's a very important part of the world we live in.
Today's episode was sponsored by no one. So if you'd like to reach out to us to give us money, we will talk about your product and you can sponsor us.
Sponsored by Panera.
It is sponsored by Panera.
You spend so much money at Panera. I would
Panera.
love to see how much money you
Tackett,
spend.
I
at
think
Breakfast for Tackett every day.
you sponsor Panera more than Panera sponsors us.
Panera
You're right.
actually
I should
talked
get
about
free Panera.
closing that location. But
Guys,
they
if we
said,
get
"Wait a
big
minute."
enough, I'm going to have a Panera Cup every episode. If we get big enough, they're going to start sponsoring me. That's my goal for this whole podcast. That's the only goal I have. Free Panera for life.
Well, you'd save on your expenses.
I would.
So, in closing, how would you describe memes in this
It's like a
episode?
test.
Has your view changed?
No, it's not a trick question.
I gave my view already, but
No.
how would I describe it?
But
a
how would
meme.
you tack it? Look at me.
A meme is a unique...
How would you describe memes? If you can give them one word, what would you give them?
In a nutshell, I would say dank.
Oh my god.
Well, that's true, and I'm happy you remember that phrase. But how would you describe memes? Would you say they are
Cool? Or
Fun.
is there another word?
Interesting. Informative.
Maybe a 5-letter word with an O at the end?
exclamation mark for enthusiasm?
Oh, our show title, Neato.
Yeah.
This has been Neato.
You guys have officially made me lose my mind!